Hello, Captains. Welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online on the free-to-play edition. So we are in the Breen invasion, and we're about to do the next mission. However, before I begin, at the beginning of each mission now, I have decided I am going to make sure that I do our Admiralty system here, collect the rewards or acknowledge reports from the last ones, and then go ahead and add new Admiralty duty officer, I guess we'll call them duty officer missions. That's pretty much what it is, except with starships. And that way we can start earning some more XP, some more items and things for crafting. Plus, we will do these tour of duties so that we can get some more specialization points. Will be quite nice. So, let's turn this in, and you'll see we get a lot of XP for that. Check that out. That's pretty cool. And that, and that. Look at that. Already up to halfway on 53 just from turning in those two. And look, we received 100,000 energy credits. So these reward some really cool stuff that's going to benefit our character greatly. We've been hurting for energy credits, I've been telling you. Well, the Admiralty system is one way that we can gain some energy credits. Also gain crafting materials for the R&D system. And a lot of XP and more specialization points, which is really nice. I'm also continuing to level up the R&D system at the same time as well. Let's add some new duty officer projects. Nobody's in maintenance, so we're fine there. Add that. Actually, we don't even need to add that. Can you take one out? Yeah, you can. Look at that, 100%. Excellent. 35. I don't have a lot of ships to choose from, so, I mean, really, I'll just use what I got. Ooh, that's pretty low. Do I have anything higher in engineering? Absolutely not. Wow. Craziness. Yeah, oh well, that's only near a 60% chance. Don't know if it'll fail or not, but it might. But it's not a real big deal if it fails. Wow, that's even less. Wow, that really helps though. We'll do that and get those going. Okay, I'm just going to do that at the beginning of each episode so we can keep that moving along. Let's look at our energy credits real quick. Look at that. I am now up to almost 700,000 energy credits. Now, how I've done that is number one, I did sell a couple items in the exchange and instead of selling them through the vendor, you can get more energy credits that way. Number two, doing the Admiralty system. I've been doing that now for a little bit, and that has helped me earn energy credits. So we are almost near 1 million energy credits now. Actually, I can actually purchase some things and make some progress on this character. So that is quite nice, and I'm going to keep doing that. That Admiralty system, very, very important. We've also got specialization points. I've got 2 to spend right now, because I actually have not been spending them. Now, because I'm flying an escort and a tactical character, I think that I'm going to make pilot my primary, and I'm going to leave commando as my secondary. So I've already got 2 primaries, two opened up in pilot. Let's go ahead and add Eat My Dust 2. And Maneuvering Thrusters 2. And we'll just keep working our way through the specializations and stuff. Again, I'm doing the Admiralty system to earn more specialization points, so that will just keep going and going and going. That'll make us even better as a ship, because we only have a Tier 5 ship. Doing these specializations will be very important to making our ship, better. Okay, let's do the next mission. Called Cold Comfort. So many colds and calls and everything. Breen slavers cripple a ship and try to receive long-buried memories from its crew. We are receiving a distress signal in the Rava system. A ferry transport weathered a Breen attack, but they've taken heavy casualties and are requesting immediate assistance. My people do not have military ships, Admiral, and I am loath to send a lightly armored rescue vessel into such a dangerous situation. Please, do whatever you must. Help us, help us. We will get Deferi snow tubers or this rapid reload transphasic torpedo, which I will take. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to Rava up here. Go at slipstream, get there a little faster. Excellent. We're doing good. Okay, let's start. Okay, Captain, we're being hailed by a disabled Deferi frigate. Thank you for responding to our distress call. Let's try that again. Thank you for responding to our distress call. We were boarded by the Breen and have taken several casualties. We could use any medical aid you could render. Please approach and beam over as soon as you can. That I can do, Deferi frigate. Beam over. I like how everyone just kind of fell into place as we beamed aboard. Okay, talk to Dr. Kosa. By the balance, you couldn't have arrived at a better time. I need every available person to help with patients. I think the Breen take pleasure in causing pain. Few of our crew were killed, but many have been injured. If you want to help, I need someone at table 7. Take the patient's medical history and triage the injury. If it's a minor issue, go ahead and treat them, so we can make room for another patient. Which one would be table 7? Over here? Don't mind me, I'm just going to stand right here on the table beside you. Please, it hurts, help me. Well, that's descriptive. What hurts? It's my left side. I took a disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Please, I need something for the pain. Do you have anything that will help? Do you have any allergies? I'm highly allergic to Meteropan. I was given it once and caused swelling. Are you taking any medications currently? No. Do I look like I should be? Yes. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? How often do you think I'm shot by a Breen? Huh, okay. When was the last time you ate? Midday, I guess. What does this have to do with anything? Why haven't you given me something for the pain yet? What were you doing before you were injured? I was repairing a power conduit. Okay. Treatment for disruptor injuries. There are several medications available from the Deferi medkits that we can use to treat this pain. Blah, 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 blah. Once the patient is stable, we can treat the disruptor hit directly with a protoplaster, which should fix the damage done to the cellular structure. So we need to get one of them things. Use medkit. Analgesics. Well, I'm going to go on a limb and say bicardine. Bicardine is indicated for decreasing pain associated with serious trauma injuries. Treatment with bicardine has been known to cause addictive behavior in patients who are treated with the drug for long periods of time. Metropan is a non-addictive substitute that is preferred in most cases of serious trauma. However, Meteropan is also what he's allergic to, so we're going to choose the bicardine. And sticking with it. Bam. The pain from the disruptor wound is subsiding. This feels much better, thank you. You're welcome. The bicardine is having the desired effect. Now we can use the protoplaster on the wound. Good. Use protoplaster. Even though that's a tricorder and not a protoplaster. That's normal. Yay, I cured a patient. Good work with that last patient. Has anyone ever told you that you have a talent for medicine? I need someone to check out the patient on table 3. Great, I'm doing his work for him. All he's doing is standing there. What hurt? Mother, is that you? Nope, what hurts? An older boy named Tosca used to take my favorite toys when I brought them to school. Yeah, you sound crazy. Do you have any allergies? I hated the taste of my mother's stew. Well, then don't eat it. Are you taking any medications? I used to play in the mud every time it rained. Sounds fun. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? I loved it when my mother... Yeah, okay, you love your mother, I get it. Maybe a little too much. What were you doing before you got injured? My father. Oh, now it's your father, huh? What were you doing before you got injured? My father? Oh, great. The patient seems disoriented and stupid. I agree. It may be a symptom of brain trauma. Mm-hmm. Do you know your name? Nope. Oh, now it's his sister and a doll. Sounds like fun. Do you know where you are? Can we have our dessert? No, you can't have your dessert. Do you know approximately what time it is? Umek insects at twilight. That's what time it is. You know what year it is? Nope. It's his sister again. I didn't click that thing. There is something obviously wrong with this patient's mental status. Duh. You think? I'm gonna say that he needs one of these. Captain, it appears that there's a cortical implant in this patient's brain that is causing the disorientation and delusions. There's an extremely high amount of neural activity in the area around the implant. Perhaps if we were... Oh, look, my phone. I'll get that later. Perhaps if we were able to decrease the activity with an anesthetic, the patient would be more responsive. Okay, talk to injured Deferi. Mother, is that you? No. Get medication from medkit. So let's go over here, use a medkit. Oh, crap, I forgot what it is. Oh, I think it's anethrazine, if I remember correctly. That one. Go. Engage. Where am I? I remember the Breen attack, and there was this medic. He seemed sad. The Breen implanted me with a cortical implant. It has been forcing me to relive memories from my past. Please help get it out of my head. I don't want to live like this. The anethrazine worked, Captain. Removing a cortical implant is a tricky process. We should confer with Dr. Kosa about how to proceed. And back to you, who is just standing here punching a tricorder. I'm not familiar with any technology like this. Any attempt I'd make at removing it would be based upon an educated guess. We have some captured Breen in the brig waiting for transport to a holding facility. Perhaps you could question them. One of the monsters who did this to my patients might know how to reverse the process. Just maybe. Let's use our running ability and run very fast. And get stuck on non-objects. All this Breen spit is all over the ship. Sir, there are a few things you should know about the Breen before we talk to them. The Breen are a warrior race. They do what is expedient, and will often take prisoners rather than kill. You can get more work out of a slave than a dead man. This may seem cold and callous to us, but to the Breen it's only logical. Survival and duty are more important to them than morality. The Breen are very concerned with personal honor. Do not insult a Breen's honor or suggest that they kill without cause, and you should be fine in your interrogation. You, sir, with the purple visor. What is your name? Look at you, cowering in the shadow of Thought Trail. What hope could the Deferi possibly have against might like this? I will not answer your questions. Go bother someone else. Thought Trail has more power and vision than a pathetic being like yourself can possibly comprehend. The Deferi will be the first to fall to his might, but they will not be the last. He will not stop until the entire Alpha Quadrant serves the Breen Confederacy. Someday soon, I will stand on the blasted remains of your homeworld and celebrate our victory. I will grind the remains of your leaders into dust under my boot heels. Thought Trail will be the man who makes this possible. Wow, very emotional Breen. Anybody else want to talk? How about you? Torture me if you wish, but I will never betray the Breen Confederacy. What is your name? ... Hello ... Let's talk to you. I have a feeling you might be a little more cooperative. Are you here to let me go? Well, what's your name? I am Tran. Hi, Tran. I am not Tran. Interrogate Tran. Talk to Tran. What do you want from me? What kind of monster are you? What are you doing here? What is your story? What are you doing here? I'm a combat medic in the 5th Order. I serve the Breen Confederacy. I was ordered to go to this system by my superiors. I am sure that you have encountered other Breen in the Deferi sector. What does attacking a civilian transport have to do with Breen expansion? I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My commanding officer is in a nearby cell and can overhear everything we are saying. Okay, well, I can take care of that. I am just going to turn you off for a second. And now that is nothing. That means absolutely nothing. I'm getting stuck on things. Let's go over here. Hello, Tran. Now you can talk. My superior thought that these Deferi civilians might have the information for which we have been searching. While I might have disagreed with his choice of target, it is not a soldier's place to question his commanding officer. I think my dissension was the reason I was selected to join the assault on the ship's bridge, a dangerous task in the best of circumstances, and one that had the least chance of success. Did you object to your commanding officer? You followed orders you knew were dishonorable. Your failure is well deserved. That will fail this mission. How can you justify an attack against civilian targets? Remember, this guy, he likes civilians. I didn't want to attack this ship. There is a nobility to being a soldier. When I enter battle, I know I could be killed. I know what others will die at my hands. But that is what we must do. It is part of being a soldier. Civilians are not part of this unspoken agreement. They do not wake up each day and know in their hearts it could be their last. They should be out of bounds as targets for people like you and me. There is no honor in fighting someone who is unprepared to fight back. I regret that I had orders to kill these civilians. More than that, I regret that I carried out those orders. You help these innocents with disruptors. What were your orders? Did you have an option that didn't involve attacking the Deferi? You speak of nobility, but where was it when you shot helpless innocents? Definitely not that option. Did you have an option that didn't involve attacking the Deferi? I suppose I could have hurled myself out of an airlock. My choices were to die or to follow my orders. It is unfortunate, not much of a choice. Foolishly, I believed that if I took part in this mission, I could do my best to prevent needless violence against those in battle. I was wrong. So your mission wasn't just to kill the Deferi on the ship? I am a combat medic. Normally my task is to repair the injuries of my fellow soldiers. On this mission, I was tasked with capturing civilians alive and fitting them with subspace cortical implants. These devices are barbaric even by our standards. We use them to obtain memories from the most obstinate of interrogation subjects. This particular implant has a subspace relay intended to capture and transmit these memories so that my superiors can sift through the secrets locked in our victims' minds even as we moved on to implant more subjects. So when you arise, is torture fine? Okay, no. Why did you do this? What information did the Deferi have that you needed so badly? I am not sure exactly what the commanders wanted to learn from these people. I can only guess that my superiors wanted information that they felt could be held by any member of the Deferi population. The cortical implants were calibrated to bring long-term memories to the surface, even going back to the target's childhood. Perhaps they wanted to learn something that even a Deferi child might know. Would the probed Deferi know what memories were being searched? Perhaps, if they had the mental fortitude to recall the memories that were triggered during their interrogation, the pain from the implants can be quite intense. How do we remove them? The removal of the cortical implants is a very delicate procedure. The implants are intended to be strong enough to survive the interrogation process, but too difficult to be removed by the subject or anyone else. I have worked with these implants for some time. Have your doctors talk to me, and I will tell them what they need to do to remove them. Excellent! We have succeeded. Go back to Casa. Now you can fail that quite easily, and if you do fail that little talk there with Tran, you will have to replay the entire mission, so it's very annoying. Basically, just keep in mind, he likes civilians, he cares about them, he didn't want to kill the civilians. He's a nice guy. He wants to help. Talk to Dr. Kosa. Don't threaten him, whatever you do. This is just the information we needed. I will round up a surgical team and we will begin the process of removing the implants immediately. I spent some time talking to the patients while you were in the brig. It sounded to me like the Breen implants was triggering memories from the patient's early childhood, many of them involving rhymes and songs. Most Deferi parents and grandparents sing to their children and tell them stories of our past and our traditions. A common theme in our songs is the preservers. We sing of their travels through the universe, their efforts to maintain the balance, and their great archive. My children are particularly fond of songs about the Preserver Archive, a hidden place where they left all of their technology and records of the ancient days. It's an interesting story, but I don't know if a place like that could actually exist. After all, we're talking about children's rhymes. Captain, the Breen must believe that the Preserver Archive exists. There is no other explanation as to why they would target Deferi civilians in order to obtain information about nursery rhymes. Before we leave, Tran has requested to talk to you again. He's waiting in his cell. Well, let's go back to Tran. Ooh, I don't know why I just remodulated. So basically, the Breen believe that the Preserver Archive exists and are looking for it, and they are going as far as to probe the minds of Deferi to learn about nursery rhymes, which could lead to the location of the Preserver Archive. Thank you for returning. I know that helping you was the right thing to do, but because I did so, I can never return to the Breen Confederacy. Therefore, I would like to request asylum from the Federation. I, however, am not alone in this request. There are a small group of Breen that share my feelings. We know that attacking innocents is wrong. If you accept us, we would all like to join you. Sure. I will give you the information necessary to contact them. It may take some time before they are willing to respond. Your future actions will help speed up that process. Excellent. We've sent a communication based on trans information. I can't be sure it was received, so at this point I believe the only thing we can do is wait for a response. I must say I'm surprised any Breen could be capable of reason. Impressive work, sir. The Nefaris seem to have things under control for now. Are you ready to leave? Yes, I am. So that is basically a short... Whoa, right into my eyeball there. So this is a pretty short mission. A lot of dialogue in the mission, but once you get through it, you can get through it pretty quickly. Kind of a mission just to get us into the next segment of the Breen invasion, which is basically tracking down the Preserver Archive. Alright, I remember stories about the Preservers from my childhood, and of course, we have ruins linked to them on Defera, but I have never heard of an intact Preserver installation. The Breen, however, are taking these stories quite seriously, and if the Breen manage to acquire Preserver level technology, they could shift the balance of power in the entire Alpha Quadrant. It's lucky that you were able to establish a connection with Tran. I believe that he was sent by the powers to help maintain the balance in the galaxy, and I am grateful. I know your intelligence service has more questions for him, but after that, I promise I'll do what I can to see that he and other Breen who disagree with their government's actions are not forgotten. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak with you. You should consider meeting with them when you are done here. Alright, so we will get skill point, blah, blah, blah. Deferi snow tubers or transphasic torpedo. Definitely the transphasic torpedo. Oh, that did not give us many points at all. Look at that, we barely went up there. Okay, so this transphasic torpedo, let's look at it real quick. This is a rapid reload transphasic torpedo, and the reason why it says rapid reload is because typically transphasic torpedoes are pretty slow. So being a rapid reload will help the speed of this thing, you know, reload and fire again. Does kinetic damage with 40% bonus shield penetration. Does kinetic damage plus 20% critical severity, plus 10% accuracy. It is a good torpedo if you're going to use transphasics. Now, if I do end up using the two-piece of the Breen set, which is possible, you'll see the two-piece bonus is a plus 32 to transphasic projectile damage, and that is a transphasic torpedo. So that is the torpedo I would use in combination with the Breen set, and that could be very advantageous. That could allow me to do more torpedo damage. Also, it's got a shield penetration, so that's nice too. Somebody mentioned, don't forget to mention the fact that the Breen set is actually a 4-piece set. That is correct. The Breen set is a 4-piece set. There is the deflector, the impulse, the shield, 3 pieces, and then there is a warp core or a singularity core if you're Romulan. However, you can only get the warp core from the winter event. And seeing as it is far from the winter event right now, because it is February, and we have to wait all the way again to the next winter event, I will not have that other piece of the sets. However, if you do get that other piece of the set, there's a 4-piece bonus, set 4 bonus, called Eject Cryoplasma. It is pretty much just like Eject Warp Plasma, except it's a cold cryoplasma. That's pretty much it. Not a very useful thing for a tactical character to use, although I guess you could, because you would be pretty maneuverable, so you could really use it. You could really, I guess, fly around and capture your enemy in it and then come back around and shoot them, so I guess it could be useful. It's more of an engineering ability, but anyway, it's a thing. But anyway, I'm not going to have access to the warp core, so there's no way we're going to have that 4-piece bonus anyway. So really nothing to worry about there. Also, there is another set that I totally forgot about. So I've mentioned the Jem'Hadar space set. I've mentioned the Breen space set. I've mentioned the Aegis space set. Well, there is another one that you get by playing... actually, there's another 2 at least that you get by playing missions. The first one we'll come upon is actually called the Solanae set. There is a deflector, an impulse, a shield. It is obtained by playing missions. It's a mission space set, not a reputation one. So we will gain access to the Solanae set when we get to those missions, but that's much later on. There is also one after that in the Iconian missions called the Sol Defense System space set. Another deflector, impulse, and shield set for our ship. So there actually are some more upcoming space sets we'll have access to via playing missions. So that is something to keep in mind. The Jem'Hadar, the Breen, and the Aegis are not the only ones. We actually have like 5 now that I can't believe I forgot them, but they are there. So we've got Jem'Hadar, Breen, Aegis, Solanae, and Sol Defense. Those 5 sets. So as we play those missions, we will gain access to those other sets. I believe we'll get the Solanae set once we hit the Solanae Dyson Sphere stuff. So actually, it is in the next storyline. We will one of these missions will have it. They'll have multiple pieces of it. We'll have to play multiple missions to get all the pieces. But anyway, yeah, that's coming up in the next storyline. So that will be the next set. So after the Breen set, we will have the Solanae set, and then it won't be all the way until the Iconian missions that we'll get the Sol Defense set. Now the Sol Defense set is really more for like a cruiser engineering character, more of a cruiser ship. So I don't think the defense one will benefit us too much, but maybe it will because it does have a lot of defense. I guess it could work on an escort. But I'm interested. The Solanae is definitely more science, but I'm interested to see what it can do on an escort. I've never used it on an escort before, so maybe the Sol Defense is more better on tactical. I don't know. Whatever the case, we will get all of them anyway, and we will compare them, and we will use the best. We may even mix things up, mix up which sets we're using, different parts of different sets to benefit our character the most. But, all that's down the road as we obtain all these parts. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode, and stay tuned for the next one.